Hi, I'm Doug Edwards. Welcome to my garage here in Mount Vernon, Washington. 3 weeks after our family reunion 2 years ago in Monterey, California, my sister passed away. She orphaned her 2 children that she had adopted as a single parent.
When I got the call from Doug that his sister had passed from a heart attack, it wasn't even, I don't think, hours before I was calling him back saying, what's going to happen to the kids?
It was pretty heart-wrenching to see 2 youngsters in ages 5 and 6 without anywhere to go.
You know, his parents saw Blake and Sophia as their grandchildren, and they were reeling from the loss of a daughter. The last thing they needed was to lose their grandchildren as well. So they probably would have gone back into the foster system and not even been able to necessarily stay together.
Without a legal parent, without someone documented that was in charge of their lives, our hands were tied.
The kids spent the first night at the shelter because the police didn't know who to contact, who to call.
What was even more unexpected is the fact that she had nothing in place for what was to happen with her 2 lovely children, my niece and my nephew.
We hadn't even been married a year and a half at that point, and we were not planning on having kids. So it was, I had never planned to be a mom. I had not planned to have children, and I thought being a stepmom would be a big enough step.
Laura and I have 1 daughter that was mine from a previous marriage and a very small house here in northern Washington.
But apparently God had other plans.
Laura and I decided that we would step in and adopt my nephew and niece.
There was no one else, and their parental rights through the state had been terminated.
Because there was no paperwork, we couldn't take the children to the doctor. No one would treat them.
How can their adoption assistance funds be continued if there's no guardian and there's no one in place for those checks to come to?
So it was a necessity that we move forward quickly and rapidly to be able to adopt them. We were kind of in a state of limbo as we stepped out and decided to hire an attorney to help us through all the legal steps that were necessary in order for our family to grow from 3 to 5.
It would have been a lot easier if there'd been guardianship in place.
And before we knew it, we were a family of 5.
The first year was survival. Some of our challenges were just figuring out how to have 5 people in a 950 square foot house and how to make it financially and how to do all we needed to do in order for the adoption to go through. Now our house is full of life.
Lots of laughter.
Wow! Oh, good hanging on. Good hanging on.
It's not easy. There's lots of tension at times.
Blake, use a different please than what she's using.
I think the biggest gift that God has ever given me is a loving wife and a family that wraps their arms around me when I come home at night from work.
Daddy!
How are you?
Good.
Good. Did you guys have a good day today?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, you did.
Yeah, I did. Are you playing with Kitty?
Yeah.
Yeah. And once the adoption took place, we were then at ease, but not for very long.
Woo.
The reason we weren't at ease for very long is we realized my sister passed away. What would happen if my wife or I passed away? We had no documents in place to what we would like to have happen with our new family. And we did not want to live through as a family the same thing that we had just been through prior to the adoption of our nephew and niece to son and daughter. Since motorcycling is one of my many hobbies, Laura and I decided that we needed to put in place paperwork. Having an estate plan with a guardianship provision in today's world is so important.
So if you are a parent, I'd strongly recommend you call your local conference office, get in touch with the trust department, and see when they can come and meet with you.
Don't let your family, your children, become wards of the state because you failed to act upon something that is so critical to be done.
One of the best things to do is to have a plan in place.
So my prayer for you is not to wait any longer. Let's take care of our kids. They're the future. They're the future of our country. They're the future of our families. They're the future of our church.